Hello and welcome. My name is Rodell Fields and I am a professional musician and composer. I've decided to make a series of tutorials on the Finale notation software. I noticed a total lack of tutorials for that particular software on the internet and YouTube, and so I decided, after being prompted with questions from students and friends of how to use and make simple things to work better with the software, and I decided to make this series. I'm going to be using the Finale 2008 version, although I'm pretty sure that most of the tips I'm going to be explaining apply from Finale 2003, I'm pretty sure about that, up to maybe the current version. Okay, now as Finale comes out of the box, I remember way back in the days that there were some annoyances that it was very frustrating in the beginning. The software is a great software. You can actually change it to do like graphic stuff, to even become a drawing kind of software. But it has a really steep learning curve, and although it can do everything, sometimes you need to go to 3 or 4 different places to get to where you want to go. The most annoying thing I remember happening to me was that, I was frustrated. I was trying to find a tool, like say put a slur on a measure or the sign of an octave, and it took me like forever. Like, took me 5 minutes to find this thing, and after finding it, after a lot of confusion and after spending 5 minutes to find it, I couldn't even trace the steps to find the thing. And after I used it, it disappeared again. Okay, that was very frustrating. That's still frustrating. I don't know why the creators of the software have this thing by default working like this, but we're going to overpass that now, and I will explain how. So the second thing we're going to deal with is how to dock all those palettes and those toolbars around the software to make it functional. You see, mine is full of stuff all around. It's pretty much everything that can be used. Some things are missing, but for the most part, it's every tool is here, and I don't have to go to extra menus, to extra drop downs, sub menus, and things like that to find something. And of course, I certainly do not want these things to disappear after I use them once. Okay. So this is an occurrence that happens usually with the tools of the simple entry palette. So like somebody clicks a note, puts it on, and then this whole palette disappears. And then with the Smart Shape, these set of tools here. Okay. So let's see how we overcome that first, and then we talk about the palettes. So the first thing we need to make a functional workflow is having things stay in place after we use them. So here's what we do. We go to the Edit drop-down. The very last, at least on the 2008 version, the very last option is the Program options. You click that. This controls the main functions of the software. You're probably going to be ending up in that page if you open it for the first time. You need to go to the last option here, which says Palettes and Backgrounds. Once you go there, most likely your version, or the version that comes out of the box, is going to have these 2 options checked. Let me zoom in for a little bit. So it says close subsidiary palettes when leaving tool, and close simple entry palette when leaving tool. Okay, we need to uncheck those. You have to clear them up, just like as I did. So that will take care of that annoying issue of clicking a tool and then it disappears. That's going to make sure with these unchecked that everything stays in place. Okay, so once you do that, you can apply, you can hit OK, and now everything stays in place. Of course, the second thing is now that probably you don't see all those palettes that I see here in the software, and so we need to bring them up. And for the sake of having a real situation here, let me make it as probably how Finale is going to be displaying it. Now, all these tools and all these palettes are in the Windows section. Now, for some unknown to me reasons, Finale classifies some toolbars as palettes and some other toolbars as toolbars. So if you go to the drop down on the window menu here, you're going to see all these are checked. It's because it's pretty much everything you see. So there is like all these palettes: main tool palette, advanced tools palette, and simple entry palette. And also there is another submenu with toolbars, which is the file toolbar, the edit toolbar, view toolbar, and things like that. We're going to be going through these later on in later tutorials. But as for now, let's make the situation kind of look real. I'm going to just take out a couple of palettes here, and we're just going to put them back up. Okay, so what you see is, say you see this, right? That's the situation that your software comes up. Even still right now, it has way too much, I guess. Coming out of the box probably has very few things up here. So then you need to go to the window drop down and start checking up things to make them so. Okay, my suggestion is check them all out. Okay, so everything gets, everything that you see there, just check it, with the exception maybe of the movie window or the mix, whatever. I don't. These are very specialty windows. I would not choose that. You can do it if you have a special project that deals with a movie. Okay, so the next thing you're going to be probably realizing is that your palettes are floating. So this palette pops up right in the middle of your workflow, you know, and it's annoying. You kind of, now the thing is, those palettes can be docked. So when a palette is floating, you can grab it from that area up here and from anywhere. Okay, and the minute you come close to the edges of the screen, you're going to see it's changing shape. Maybe you cannot see it from my screen recorder, but trust me on this one. The minute it can be docked, the outline gets thinner, and you know that you can dock it. Okay, the shape is changing and everything. So you can dock these things. So let me dock mine the way I had them, and oops, I missed one. Which one is it? This one. Let me take them out again. Okay, so you can dock them and undock them on preference and on will, and it's really simple. And you can move them up and down once you dock them. Now, once the palettes are docked, the only way to make them floating again is to grab them from this particular double line here. Okay, because if you try to grab it from somewhere else, you probably will be selecting a tool. So you don't want that. You want to, if you want to grab it to undock it, you need to grab it only from that thing on top there. If you need to dock it, you can dock it. You can grab it from anywhere. Okay. So here's we have our tools now, and as I said, I suggest you put them all up. You check all the windows and you check all the toolbars. I have them all checked with the exception of Movie Mixer and Instrument and the MIDI menu toolbar. So this is the basics. Let's review. So first things first, we need to make sure that that tools do not disappear after we click them and we use them. So you go to Edit, you go to Program Options, you go to the last menu, which is Palettes and Backgrounds, and you uncheck. By default, these are checked, but you need to uncheck them, make them clear, of the first two entries there that says Close Subsidiary Palettes when leaving tool and Close Simple Entry Palette when leaving tool. Click Apply, click OK. The second thing you need to do is to make those palettes appear in your window. And so you click them all, or the ones that you think you're going to need, and then you dock them in the manner I show you. That's the first tutorial. The second tutorial that's coming up next is going to be about how to customize the palettes and how to arrange the order of things in the palette. I hope you enjoyed this and you find it useful. If you happen to have a question or you want me to make a tutorial on a specific subject, send me an email and I will try my best to make it as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.